So I finally sat down and watched that Digital Foundry comparison of the hardware chips between the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro. The processors were compared, the GPUs and things like that, and they did a good job. To the credit, I personally don't really care about the silicone itself. It was kind of very techy. I will link it in the description so you guys can check it out. Like, I know a lot of people probably were expecting something incredible out of that. I don't really care because we already know the Xbox One X performs massively better than the PS4 Pro. That's just how it is. I mean, that's just what it is, you know. So that's already like a dead horse. You can't really do anything else about that. You know, I've already kind of covered that a million times. Everybody has. It's not even close. Anybody that at this particular point thinks that the PS4 Pro is near any kind of level of the Xbox One X, they need to have their head examined. Go check into some kind of mental hospital or something, because you're crazy. With that being said, what I found to be interesting, particularly in this video, was towards the end where Richard Ledbetter was talking about the size of the chips and how he's predicting both a PlayStation 5 and a Xbox 2, quote-unquote, in 2019. That was a little bit of a surprise to me, because I wouldn't have thought that they would have thought that, given the fact that, like, let me be clear as well, that I'm not a huge Digital Foundry fan. I feel like while they do good technical analysis and things like that, they let their opinion often kind of get in the way of the facts, you know. And this goes back early to the Xbox One, PS4 launch days, when the games would have the same resolution and everything, and they'd still give the win to the PS4 version for whatever reason. And now they do their best to kind of damage control for the PS4 version of games, and it's just not a big deal as it was years ago for whatever reason. And we know the reason is because the Xbox One X does better. But getting back to the topic is the fact that they're talking about, you know, and I think they know their stuff when it comes to tech, right? Like, for me personally, as much as I would like to think, hey man, I'm in the know of stuff, and I haven't heard anything about an Xbox 2 or anything, or a PlayStation 5, I would be able to go ahead and say that I would think that the PlayStation 5 would be further away, for the simple fact that the PlayStation 4 is absolutely dominating in every category. You know, every sales category, every, NPD, it is absolutely dominating. And not only just in the hardware, the software. When you look at, like, Ubisoft software things, the PS4 is above and far and beyond what anybody else is doing, even combined. So when you see that they're selling more hardware and software, I just find it a little bit odd that they would just want to hit reset on that and start over with zero. And then you might go, well, didn't Microsoft just come out with the Xbox One X? True, but you have to believe that Microsoft is also in the know with some of these companies, and they predict, Digital Foundry predicts that they're all going to work with AMD again. So you have to believe that Microsoft would really, really want to launch pretty much around the same time as the next PlayStation, right? That's just what they'll have to do if they want to compete. You can't launch at any point afterwards, because people will only abandon what they have when the next quote-unquote generation releases, right? And, you know, some people might feel a little bit angry if they just bought an Xbox One X and they're like, man, 2 years later they're coming out with another Xbox. Well, the good thing is, if you're an Xbox fan, you probably won't need to buy that next-gen Xbox to play the games for a while. So, you know, I'm not sure how that'll work with PlayStation, but I can imagine that you probably will have to buy the next PlayStation to play, like, those generation of games. But Xbox, I'm pretty sure they like the whole backwards and forward compatibility deal, at least for a while. You know, you might not get as good a performance, but you're still going to get something. And I think that that's probably what they're really striving for. And for me personally, I don't know. I think you guys should watch the video. Yeah, you know, it's techie at the beginning. If you watch towards the end, within the last 2 minutes is when they mention it. He's predicting both an Xbox One or an Xbox 2 and a PlayStation 5 2019. Holiday 2019. What do you guys think? I mean, if you think about it, Xbox One and PS4 came out in 2013. That's a good amount of time. That's definitely a good amount of time, even though we did have mid-gen refreshes. I'm very curious to hear what you guys think. Are you guys tired of hardware talk? This does mean that we could get some kind of, information sooner than we expect. Very curious to hear what happens. Let me know. Rack 'em up. Crapgamer out.